This morning in New York City, during the morning rush hour, a man entered a subway car and unleashed a smoke grenade, which released dark black smoke from a canister, and then began to open fire on the morning rush hour passengers, injuring more than 20, including 10 of the passengers, which suffered gunshot wounds. A manhunt was underway early Tuesday after the shooter fled the scene. A 9mm semi-automatic handgun and extended clips were found. Also a hatchet, a black garbage can with detonated and undetonated smoke grenades, and a key to a U-Haul van were also found at the scene. Authorities said officers located the vehicle, which will be examined by a bomb squad. Injured passengers suffered from bullet wounds, smoke inhalation, and the physical effects of panic. Nobody was reported to be in life-threatening condition. The president took to media and was very upset and spoke about it and said, "We're not letting up until we find the perpetrator." And he also thanked the first responders and the officers on the scene. Authorities later identified the suspect in the shooting, or the alleged suspect in the shooting, as Frank James, a 62-year-old man of interest in connection to the shooting. He became a suspect because his name was on the rented U-Haul that was found. And he had rented the U-Haul from Philadelphia, and he also has addresses in Wisconsin. And as of late Tuesday night, officials had no one in police custody. Right now, they have a $50,000 reward offered for any information to the incident. This Tuesday morning incident that happened has graphic photographs and clips posted all throughout social media. And it shows traumatic scenes on the platform of 36th Street Station in the Sunset Park neighborhood of Brooklyn. Another phone image showed blood smeared inside the train carriage and out on the platform, indicating where a rider had been dragged to safety. This footage captured passengers screaming as they scrambled to escape the shooter. In a press conference, the New York City Police Commissioner described the events that began shortly before 8:24 a.m. as an N train bound for Manhattan was traveling between the 59th and 36th Street stations. He said that an individual on the train appeared to be wearing a gas mask. He then took a canister out of his bag and opened it. As the train began to fill with smoke, he then opened fire, striking multiple people on the subway and in the platform. The commissioner said there was no known motive for the actions of the suspect. She sought to calm nerves among New Yorkers by saying the shooting was not being investigated as a terrorism act. But she later said she's not ruling that out at all. And she doesn't have to rule it out, but at the same time, we don't know, because they do have a person that is a possible suspect, which is Frank James, and he hasn't been captured yet, so we don't know his motive. Is he a part of some religious radical group? That nobody knows at this point in time. But my opinion on it all, I will say, in this new age era, this 2022, which we saw 2021, there was a lot of mass shootings going on. And now in this 2022, we just don't know. It might get even worse than last year. So us as people, we have to be careful. We have to pay attention to our surroundings. You already know my saying, 360 degrees awareness at all times, 720 if you can. Keep your head on the swivel at all times, wherever you're out in crowded spaces, because you don't know who's trying to victimize a group of people and think of theirself as a martyr. I don't know. But we definitely have to be careful, because people are losing their minds right now. They're doing the most. It's not like it hasn't ever been violence in this country. It's always been violence in this country. But we always have to pay attention to the escalation of violence. When it escalates on this type of time, you got to be aware of it and say to yourself, wait a minute, I need to pay a little more attention. This stuff is not just happening on the late night. No, this stuff is happening in broad daylight, early morning. People are just doing the most. And, I pray for those people that got themselves, victimized by this coward. But at the same time, we definitely have to pay attention when we see people, when we see the way people move. Don't always be too quick to jump. Be the first one to rush into the store. No, take your time and watch your surroundings as you're going into places, as you're getting on trains and buses and public transportation. You pay attention. You know what I'm saying? That's what you definitely have to do in this day and time, because people are just, to me, in my opinion, they're trying to go out big. They're taking it out on innocent people, because those people on that train were innocent people. This wasn't some kind of drive-by shooting in a neighborhood with a bunch of young thugs. This was people going to work to feed their families, and then this happened to them. So we definitely have to be careful out here. We definitely have to be careful out here, people. And we got to keep ourselves in a safety mind state so that we don't become victimized. And, things are getting worse out here, and people definitely have to be aware of that. We can't be naive to this day and time, because this day and time is really critical that people pay attention. There's a lot going on out here. It's a lot of people that's just stressed out and off the handle, or whatever their reasons may be, and they're just taking it out on innocent people. So we got to make sure that we do all that we can so that we don't become victims in situations of another person's anger or violent nature. And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North to east, west, south, unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out there, y'all.
I'm not who you think I am. Your perception is a lesson with a fail grade on it. Steady living life like I would never see the morning. True shit, man, I'm more than pain, I'm more than stain on sidewalk, I'm more than black skin on my face. Destined to be great, gotta elevate mind. Elevation is the game that I gotta play. Gotta win, gotta find escape to a better day.